Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adzani Fadilah, NPM 33342200081. Football. In background, football is a sport that is played by two teams of 11 each. In the 21st century, it has been played by over 250 million people in 200 countries, making it the most popular sport in the world. Football is meant to score as many goals as possible by using a ball of skin on the opponent's goal. Football is played in a rectangular field above synthetic grass or grass. Root problem. 1. What is the meaning of football? 2. What about a brief history of football in the world? 3. How about a brief history of football in Indonesia? 4. What are the variations in the football game? 5. What are the rules, infraction, basic techniques, support facilities in football games? Next. What is football? Football is one of the great types of game, a means of physical education, education for sport and health, and it is also an effort to learn human movement. Football is carried out with the goal of setting off the opponent's goal and holding the goal to avoid getting in. Football was a big game. Its team of 11 players. The football game is played in two innings, 2x 45 minutes with a 10-minute break between the two. A brief history of football in the world. The history of soccer games began in China from the second and third centuries before Christ. In 1365, King Edward III decided to outlaw the playing of football. This was also supported by King James I of Scotland. In 1815, a Great Depression took place, causing soccer to become as well known sport in schools and universities. The birth of modern football took place in 1863 at Tavern Freemason, where there was a clear separation between soccer and rugby. In 1869, using hands to carry a ball began to be prohibited in soccer games. During the 1800 years, the football sport was spread by British sailors, traders, and soldiers around the world. In 1904, the highest football association, FIFA, was formed, and in the early 1900 years, games were held in various countries. A brief history of football in Indonesia. The history of Indonesian football is certainly not without the role of other people who have been colonizing or trading in the Indonesia region. The first time in the history of Indonesia, football is that China has introduced a game of football to Indonesia to show that the land of the bamboo curtain is no less superior to the countries of Europe. It has been noted that by 1915 years, many soccer clubs or companies were established by Chinese citizens, and even in 1920 years, there were such clubs as the Jakarta and Surabaya UMS, which had become the best club in the Dutch India. the old Indonesian name. After all, Indonesia has made its birth on the 1938 years World Cup. In the course of Indonesian football history, there are important events to note. The establishment of an Indonesia Football Association, which is the duty of overseeing a football club in Indonesia. The organization name in PSSI, an International Football Association, formed on April 9, 1930 in Yogyakarta. The PSSI stood before the 1938 years World Cup in France. Another point to note in the course of Indonesian football history is that the PSSI and NIVU had a disagreement to see who would be entitled to the World Cup in France. In Indonesian football history, there has also been an important character behind the PSSI, Suratin Sosrogondo, a native child who has been educated at the Flexibility High School of Engineering, Germany. Japan's entry into Indonesia has caused a passive PSSI to compete since Japan has included PSSI as a part of the Taikukai, which is Japan sports body. In the era before the 1970 years, some Indonesian players competed in international competition, including Ramang, Sucipto Suntoro, Roni Patinasarani, and Tan Leong Ho. As a result, the PSSI has already expanded domestic football competition. Among others, this providing Indonesia Super League, the main division, the one division, and the second division for non-amateur players, and the third for amateur. The range of motion skill in the football game. 1. Ball game variation. 2. Spherical variation stopping. 3. Variations dribbling. 4. Variation of shooting balls into the goal. The rules of the field of football game. Ground level. A rectangular field forms the lateral line is 64.75 meters long and the goal line 64.75 meters long. Border size 12 centimeters thick. The goal area along to the right and left. The crossbar was 18 feet 5 5.5 meter wide and 18 feet 5.5 meter wide. Punishment area along to the right and left 165 meter crossbar and 6.5 meters wide. Above of a circle and a center circle, his fingers 9.15 meters. Corner area, his fingers 1 meter and a flag pole a minimum of 5 feet. The penalty point is 11 meters from the center of the crossbar. The crossbar 2.44 meter height, wide bar 7.32 meter and midline post crossbar. Ball rule. Round ball forms ball circle 68.71 centimeters. The material is made of an elastic, leather, or other type of ingredient. This is not harmful. Ball weighs 396 for 453 grams. Air pressures per 0.60, 0.70 the atmosphere. The color of the ball is clearly visible. In the official games, the ball used was standard size ball of the committee. If the ball is missing or flat, it will be replaced with a backup ball from the committee. By the time the ball is out of the field, rules on the number of players. The number of players from each team has a maximum of 11 and a minimum of 7 goalkeepers. During the game, players are not allowed to leave the field unless the referee allows them to. The substitution of a player during a game is 3 times that of the 5 registered reserve players. All school rules of the game. 2 innings at the time, 45 minutes each, halftime between the two stages of 5 to 10 minutes. In the old overtime, it will be 2 x 15 minutes. Additional time happened because the time is was by the incident that occurred during the game. The length of time is determined by the umpire. One moment the game will be over and there will be a kick. Then the kick will still be done. If the first half takes less than 45 minutes, the rest of the time will continue after the rest of the period before the second half with the same goal position. Foul play of football, striking the opponent violently if it attacks the opponent from behind unless the opponent is countering, hitting or trying to hit opponent, jumping at the opponent, dropping the opponent, which is sliding it down with a foot, or by sliding it from the front or from behind the opponent. Holding your opponent by hand, pushing the opponent with the hand of part of the arm, playing a playing a ball with a hand or an arm, such as carrying, hitting, and pushing the ball. The violation of this result in a penalty of one penalty kick, but this does not apply to the gatekeeper as long as he is within the goal area. As for committing such transgression, then he gives the opponent the opportunity to do a free kick indirectly where the breach occurs. The basic technique of football: getting to know the ball, kicking the ball, shooting, receiving the ball, stopping the ball, and controlling the ball, dribbling, heading the ball, throw the ball, playing with the ball, seizing a ball. Conclusion: football is a sport that is played by two teams of 11 each. Modern football began to flourish in England and become very popular. In some competitions, it caused much violence during the games that finally King Edward III banned the sport in 1365 years rules of the football game. The history of football sport dates from the 2nd and 3rd centuries before China. In the Han Dynasty, people drove a ball of skin by kicking it into a small net. A similar game is played in Japan as here in Italy. Kick and ball games were also popular mainly from the 16th century on. Okay, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.